in terms of everything, like if I'm setting a level for you tonight, it's always going to be up to you. What your body's telling you, what you feel. If it feels like you get into a position and it's too strong, back off. If you get into a position and you feel like, I don't really feel this, you could stay there if that is your intention for tonight, that you just want to take it more relaxing. But if you still want to get the physical benefit from the poses, then you're trying to tap into a point where you feel the challenge of the stretch. So normally we put a number on it. So a 5 would be just like middle road. Yeah, so you feel it a little bit, it's not going to be too much of a challenge. And normally we would say your maximum would be a 7. 7 isn't for everyone, especially if you have maybe aches and pains in certain places. So you kind of, you want to pitch it maybe around 5 or 6 if that's the case. So maybe hip or, but again, you'll get into a position, set it up. Some positions that we're doing tonight, some of them are nice, and some of them might be a little challenge. And that's where you just have to decide what level may feel right for you, okay? So from that point of view, you keep that number in mind. If you get into it and it's a grower, feel free to back off, yeah? The idea is that a lot of yin poses that we're trying to be still, but there'll be certain ones that you might just fidget in because you're like, when are we getting out of this? But that means you've set the level too high. So it's trying to figure out where's your happy place within it, okay? So in terms of like the theme that we're going with for tonight, it was to sort of tap into the nervous system. So like we have smellies going on in here. I picked an essential oil of rose geranium. So I don't know with your candles online there if you have a particular smell going on, if you were able to get something okay. Yeah, okay, cool. So in terms of that, I want to make sure that you have something that's trying to tap into a number of different senses. The only one we're not touching on is taste. That will be the next workshop.
You're going to come and drop things up into our mouths.
Maltesers.
Like, sign me up.
So yeah, so like in terms of that, so you're going to have the physical sensations of the stretches, hopefully with the smells, and then the stimulus just with the light, okay? And obviously then the thoughts and things that I want to kind of take you through on that. So it's very much about trying to rebalance the nervous system, which generally gets heightened because of stresses and anxiety and busyness and everything that's going on. So it's kind of aiming at that to try to get everything to turn into what we call the parasympathetic nervous system, which is going to kind of rest and restore. So that's our hope. But again, if you set it to an 8, that's not going to happen. So we want to make sure we're nice and relaxed. Okay, so do we have any questions before, any curiosities, or just what we're going to do?
Yeah, just give it a go and see how I get on.
Yeah, okay. Any questions at any point, just let me know, okay? And you guys online, if there's anything, if you feel like you don't want to sort of chip in with a voice, you can always type a wee message and I'll keep an eye out just in case. But yeah, if you have any burning questions, you can let me know. So in terms of where we're going to start, we're going to take you into your Shavasana to start with, but we're going to do a vagus nerve reset after that, and then we're going to do a little meditation with the candles, if we've still stayed lit by that long, hopefully. So in terms of that then, just get comfortable, bring yourselves down into whatever position feels comfortable to lie down in. So whether your legs are straight or bent, if you want to use bolsters, pillows at this stage, just get totally comfortable. Use whatever you feel will take you there. So you feel no stress, no strain on your body. And that you feel there's nothing in your body that's paying particular attention to your senses. It's not being overwhelming in the sense of, I need to fidget, I need to move, something's not right. Allow the eyes to gently close. We're bring your senses inward. To notice how you feel inside. Within yin, we tend to focus on a number of areas. The physical is one of them, your feelings are another, your thoughts are another. And very often, they're all interlinked. If you've had a busy day, if you've been running around, or maybe the weeks are just getting busy, or it's just the general stresses that are going on right now. Whether that's a physical thing for you, whether it's an emotional roller coaster at the moment, whether your thoughts are running away with themselves. This session is an exploration of trying to, I don't mean take control in a very regimented way, but it's to slow yourself down, to bring yourself into a space where you feel comfortable to explore these inner sensations or awarenesses. To bring yourself into what you're experiencing right now. Forgetting for these moments what's in the past. And not paying attention to what might happen in the future. Just trying to keep your focus on what you're experiencing right now. And at times we're going to explore within the emotional sense, the opposites. So yin is the opposite of yang. Yin is supportive, relaxing, and yang is more energetic and striving. But if we think of dark, the opposite, brings thoughts of light. And when you think of stress and anxiety, rather than dwelling on those thoughts, think of the opposite. To draw an experience of calm and relaxed. Link in the body that the spleen and the stomach are very much related to feelings of anxiety and stress. Feeling that you know your stomach doesn't feel right when things are not going well. So we want to draw away to find those positive emotions, the feelings, the thoughts, everything that's linked. So your observation of your internal world is your focus for now. And just slowly allow your eyes to blink open. And we're going to bring you up into a comfortable seat. So whatever way feels comfortable for your body to move in stages, draw yourself up. And when you drop, I don't want you to feel again any areas of your body that are screaming at you when we're coming into a seated position. So I want you to find, whether it's your blocks, your bolsters, pillows, if there's anything that you need that's going to put you into a better posture for seated. So we want to get you lifted so that your hips are higher than your knees. Okay. So that may be a bolster, it may be pillows, it could even be the likes of the blocks that you have. So anything that's going to raise you up, and suggestions might be cross-legged, or depending for you, hero pose, maybe that you're sitting with the knees on either side. So just whatever feels more comfortable. Okay. If you're not sure, you can try one.
Try that.
Yeah, then if it doesn't feel comfortable, then yeah, you can switch and change. Yeah. Because we're going to be here for a few minutes. Okay. And if you do need to switch and change, that's entirely fine. Okay. So the sense that I don't want you to kind of forego your posture in anything that we're doing. So I don't want it to feel like you're dropping into bad posture. So you're always trying to keep a sense of lifting. That connection to the internal world, even though what we're going to do next is the vagus nerve reset. So it's very much linked with stress and anxieties and things. So as we do this, it's a very simple movement. It's a little stretch. We're just going to move our eyeballs. We're going to look in a different direction. But when you're doing it, I want you just to try to relax. And what you might notice with it, doesn't happen to everybody, but what you might notice is that you swallow, which can happen at any time, but you might notice that there's a swallow, or a deep breath or a sigh wants to come in. And that's your body maybe telling you that it's just resetting just a little. So the first one that we're going to do, we're just going to take our right hands over. So, and you're not going to crank down in your neck, you're just going to give it a little side bend. So it's just there to support the head gently. And as we take our head over to the right, I want you to look up and to your left. And we're going to be here for around about just 30 seconds, but just keeping your focus up and to the left. Making sure you're not pulling on the neck to feel any pain. And then slowly release. And I'm going to take it to the other side. So again, left hand up and over, taking the neck just into that gentle side bend, and then looking up and to your right. And then slowly release. So the next one is just an extension of that. So we're going to come back over again. So the right hand up and over. As we take the head over into that side bend, you're going to use your left hand at your side ribs to almost kind of pull yourself into a little bit more of a C curve. So right hand up and over, that little draw of the head towards the right. And then the ribs are being pulled to the left. And again, as we're here, we're still looking up and to the left in opposition. And slowly release. And again, then taking it over other side. So that left hand over that left side bend. And then the right hand round to the side ribs. And that little draw in just to increase that side bend and looking up and to your right. And slowly release and draw down. So don't be feeling if you didn't get the notion for a swallow or a sigh or a deep breath that it didn't work. The hope is that the position still resets in terms of what's happening on the inside. So the next position, if you feel like you want to modify, whether you want to sit in a different way, but we're going to take our focus onto the candle. So what I want you to do is either with the candle that's in front of you, just have it placed where your head just naturally wants to just nod, but that it's in your eye line. If you don't feel like you're having to drop your head, because I don't want that to feel like it's going to increase your neck tension, but it's trying to find a level, whether it's shift that, whether you want to focus on like the larger candle that's in the center there, or just whatever feels like you can relax the head and allow your gaze to drop to focus on the candle. You're watching the flame. Allowing your focus to stay with that, no matter how much you may want to move your eyes or drift away. And as we focus on the flame, your thoughts will drift in, they'll come and go. But focusing in on the now is trying to bring your focus back to the flame. Imagine that you're breathing in the light of the flame, breathing it out, finding release. Keeping in a sense of purity and clarity. Allowing yourself to be absorbed within the flame. Whether do you notice that your vision becomes so focused, you almost can't see anything else around you. Only seeing that flame in front of you. Allowing your eyes to stay still. Allows your brain to stay still. Now slowly just allow your eyes to close. Maybe you're seeing the pattern of the flame in the back of your eyelids. Maybe you're not. Just allow this moment just to reset. deep breath in. Let the breath go. Allow a fuller breath. Deep breath in. Let it go. And then slowly allow your eyes to open. And we're going to bring you into your first pose. So your first pose is a nice one, I hope. So it's into child's pose. But again, with this, I want you to feel like you're going to be fully supported. So at any point, there shouldn't be part of your body kind of hanging in the air. So with this, you can use your bolsters, your pillows and things to get yourself into a position where they're kind of stacked up underneath your chest as you need to. So even that sense, depending on how deep you're comfortable to go with the knee bend, if you feel like you need to put pillows behind the knees, if that stops you from dropping deeper. But also then to have the bolster maybe underneath the tummy long ways. So I want you to go as wide as you feel comfortable with your knees to go. So it's a wide leg position. And then allowing the chest to relax down onto the bolster. So yeah, so draw it in there. So unless you're completely almost like splits down onto it, so it's just to have it underneath there. It's almost like it's a comfort thing. You're gonna hug your bolster. So you can choose where you want to have your head. So whether you want to have it off to one side, whether you want to have it straight down, wherever it feels comfortable. And at any point, if it feels like the bolster is too high, that's where then you can use things like the blocks to put underneath, or maybe just a pillow if you feel like you want less than the bolster. So again, it can take a little bit of experimentation to bring yourself into a position that feels that it will allow you comfort and support, but allow you with that little sense of space that if you feel you want to deepen and relax over this time, that you can. Finding a way to have your body as relaxed as you can, keeping this awareness of trying to be still. Once you find that comfortable space, this is a gentler pose. So you might not bring this one up to a 7. This might just be your introduction for your body. Keeping your attention inward. Noticing how it feels in your body now. Do you feel like you're holding and maybe resisting that sense of letting go to relax your body fully into your supports below? Experience within Yin is letting go of time. Letting go of all of the thoughts that come into your mind that distract you from now. The longer we are in some positions, sensations can change. You can feel it maybe in the muscles or the joints initially. As you settle in, that can change. Move and spread out. You might get some tingling, a deeper sense that maybe there's different connective tissues or fascia being stretched and opened. Stay connected with your body to feel what every tissue is telling you. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Will the earth receive you? And the infinite expanse of sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, awakened energy tingling in your hands and feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are. So fully alive that when you open your eyes, the world looks different. Newly born and vibrant. Just for now. Now slowly start to draw yourself out from the pose. And we're going to take you into your first rebound. So your choice for this is whatever position your body wants to go to. So whether you want to just lie on your tummy with the head resting on the hands or with pillows, or whether you want to lie on your back into Shavasana again. So Whatever feels like it's going to be a reset for you after each pose, whatever feels more comfortable. We're going to bring you here for 2 minutes to allow that time for the body to explore the sensations that may either dissipate after that pose or may grow or develop. Rebound is a position for you to take time to explore how you experience the effect of the pose, but also the after effect. But you want to still listen to your body. If you feel that you need to have a movement or find your own rebound position, then that's all fine. It's recognizing that sometimes being in a position for a while can take a little moment for us to come out of that position and to allow the body to reset. Never feel like you have to move suddenly or quickly. Very slowly, we're going to draw you up into the next pose. So you can draw yourself up into a comfortable seat again. So our next pose is bringing you into pigeon. Now pigeon can be a very relaxed version of it, depending how your hips and your knees and things are. So in terms of it, it's called sleeping swan in yin yoga, because I don't want you to feel like it has to fit to a normal pigeon position. So when you're coming into it, so I'll show the legs first of all, and then you can start to prop up as you need to. So if you feel like you want to take it into what you know as pigeon, so the right knee turned out to the side, the back leg further out behind you, and the body from this point, when you find where your hips need to be, then again you might be using in the same way that they've just been for support. But if you feel like that is too strong for the hips and the knees, then you can come into the modified version so that the hip is on the floor and the leg is at about a right angle to the front of your mat. So just figure out where your body wants to be, and we can still be supported. We can draw supports wherever we feel like we need them. But it's using the props again so that if you don't want to drop deeper, then it will stop your hips and your body from dropping deeper. But if you want to have that little bit of give, then it's knowing that the more that you relax into this, the deeper you will go. And at any point, if you feel that the bolster or the blocks are stopping you, then yes, you can modify it, come down to pillows or blankets. Use that as a support from your head, and then depending on this trying to keep your as close down as you can. So if that feels like that's too high, no, that's okay. And tab is an option if you want to. Okay.
Tanya, what shape am I? Because I'm not feeling now.
So that's not quite where I want you to go. Okay, so if you imagine that it's either going to turn out to the knee pointing that way from the foot across.
Right, so I need that.
Yeah, so that's it. And once you're in that, so then the bolsters when a line or two split between So within this posture, depending on how strong it feels to you, again where you're setting your level, If you feel like you need more support to bring you down, you can place something onto your lower back, which will help to draw you down if you're in the full position. If you're in the modified position with the hip on the floor, you can't draw that down.
Have I got that right? So I just have the bolster is too big.
So yeah, so it's, you can use pillows or anything, so you feel like there's something there, so you don't feel like you're necessarily dropping deep. I'm going to adjust that bit just to come this way. And always to deepen, if you're in full position, you can always reach your leg behind you a little bit more. You feel like you want something.
Yeah.
What do you mean reach your leg behind you?
Sorry?
What do you mean reach your leg behind you? What?
Some people don't stretch this way to the wall behind you.
All right.
Yeah. And now, when you reach your leg behind in pigeon, all it's trying to do is lower your hips to the floor. So with it, the closer you get your hips to the floor, the deeper you get into this pose. If you're in the modified version with the hip on the floor, it's more about trying to lengthen your upper body to almost get your chest bone onto your thigh. But again, if that feels like it's too low, you can modify and add supports above you. So if there is anything that you feel that you might need, if you don't have it to hand once you're in position, you can let me know. For those online, you can just make sure you modify as you need to. So this target area should feel that it's in the hip on the bent leg side. So the hope is that whatever sensation that you're feeling is targeting into that outer hip. Experience that sensation at a level that feels like, whether it's that challenge or if it's a position you can rest in. Your minds can come up with all types of scenarios and narrations as we're in a pose. Remember, you're the observer of what is going on in your body and in your mind. And as some poses will conjure up a different narrative that maybe it could be a little bit more negative. Remember, our opposites, our focus. If anything is a negative thought or that self-talk that can come in sometimes, and we switch it to the lighter version, the opposite thought, and then wander with that thought. Slowly, we're going to draw you up into your next rebound. Again, whether that's on your tummy or on your back, wherever you feel that your body wants to go to reset in between. And as we draw into that position, again, that introspection, noticing how the body feels coming out of the pose. Any changes or awarenesses. We can very much form opinions of poses after we have left them. Judgment on what we've felt and experienced. But allow it just to be information on where your body and your mind are for now. Slowly, and draw you up to come onto your left side in your pigeon. So you might know that maybe the left side is tighter or not as tight. So adapt your position accordingly, find your way in. Maybe it's the same as previous. 3 fireworks. Oh, I know, we're trying to arrange a display maybe outside. It's such a, might be a bit impromptu, but you never know. Try your best. So draw yourselves in again. You can match the previous position if you choose. If you get in there and it just doesn't feel right for you, then again you can play with it until you find that space. Knowing that once you set up your pigeon, whether you're in full position with the hips high but you're trying to encourage them to sink, or whether the hip is on the floor, that foot is forward, and you're trying to draw yourself closer to your thigh. But allowing yourself to find that number, wherever your intention is for this evening. Rest and restore. But it can still be with a little challenge for that physical release. And at any point, if you need to deepen, reaching the back leg further back to encourage the hips to sink or the chest to lengthen. But as you get there, to feel supported, knowing that any position that we do end up in, that there shouldn't be any sharp pains. challenge can be there, but sharp ones are the ones we want to stay out of. Comparing the comfort or discomfort of this pose compared to the other side. Ease or restriction compared to the other side. Your ability to release and relax no matter what information your brain is receiving from your body. Every day, the world will drag you by the hand, yelling, "This is important, and this is important, and this is important. You need to worry about this, and this, and this." And each day, it's up to you to yank your hand back, to put it on your heart and say, "No, this is what's important." The sensations changed in the pose. Has this one deepened for you, or have you become more settled? Your curious mind exploring and viewing what these sensations are like. Now slowly starting to draw yourself ready for your next rebound. To allow your body to find that comfortable space to reset and to allow any energy to flow freely. No matter how slow your body feels like it needs to move, anytime you're drawing out from poses, to give it time to settle in, to open, and to reset. Observing the change of sensation as you have released from the previous pose. And even that little awareness of comparison to how this one feels versus the previous side. And slowly drawing up for our next pose. We're going to be bringing you into Sphinx position next. So as to open up the chest a little bit more. And with this, the support of bolsters, as you draw yourself into position, the bolster might be to support the ribs underneath you and the arms still resting on the floor, but there's no effort in the arms because the bolster has you. But if the bolster feels too high, then maybe it's pillows, just in terms of the level of back bend that you're comfortable to go into. So the arms are fairly relaxed. There's that sense of the back bend creeping into about the mid-back area. And with the head position, so that we're trying to relax through it, you could use a couple of blocks or again a pillow to support the head. So whether that is the tall position with them, wherever it feels like it's that comfortable space. So whether that, whatever height you feel that you want to take the blocks to, or pillows, or a block and a pillow, whatever combination, to allow you to feel like the head is supported. Heads are heavy, so they take a bit of work. So to find that space where you can release the head, no effort. The Sphinx pose won't feel a really strong position. But I do want you to feel like you're experiencing a back bend around the mid-back. That sense that the head is almost weightless. allowing that sense that the ribs are sinking towards the floor. That the hips are sinking towards the floor. The body is relaxing and melting into your supports underneath. Slowly allowing your body to release and to find its Shavasana. Again, whether that's just removing your supports to lie face down, or if you prefer to move to come into your Shavasana on your back. Again, take your time depending on how your back feels, whether it needs to do an opposite position before you reset, whatever feels comfortable. Allowing your mind to be inquisitive as to how your body is feeling as it's reset from that back bend. Different poses can bring different after effects. Some can leave you feeling more relaxed, and some can release energy. Leave your mind or your body feeling a little bit more awakened. We're all so different in terms of where our energy levels are and where our blocks are. But just notice. Slowly, now that you've just had a fright from the fireworks, slowly draw yourself up. That wasn't prearranged, that one. That was the bad timing one. I know. And it must be the electric player in the derelict ground. Just see the smoke go up.
It's on close.
Yeah. Okay. So the next pose that we're getting into is one of those poses that it's not everybody's favorite. We're gonna do, I love it. I think it's great. It's really good for hips. So half saddle. So in terms of the position, we have numerous ways depending how tight your hips are. So I'll show you if you like where like an end aim would be. So we're going to start with the right leg, aiming to have the knees in front of the hips. As the foot is out to the side, it can either be pointing sideways or it can be tucked under, depending on what feels comfortable. And depending on your level of mobility in those tissues, you might be leaning back, or you might be able to get to the floor and you're reaching the knee long and then settling in. Now, depending if you feel like not a mission, I'm not getting down there. So pillows and supports and things can start to make like an incline. So if you feel that you need something again to support you, you might need to be on a little bit of like an incline so that your head is supported with pillows as well. So I don't want this to feel like you're really madly twisting to one side when you go down. You will twist a little bit, but I don't want it to be like a really strong twist.
It's an eating.
So yeah, so in which case then we want you not to go as deep. So from that point of view, the hips might need to be a little bit higher.
Right.
So it takes the pressure away from the knee. So that might be that you put a pillow or like a blanket just to raise you up, or even a block. And then you may need to put the likes of bolsters. And I'm thinking we're going to get a few of those.
Is your back about to like dip?
When you go into this is one of those positions that as you go back, you're going to feel your lower back arches.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to do is draw in through the tummy and lengthen through the knee, so that you're trying to get long, but that might mean you're going too far back. Because I don't want this to feel like it offers compression into the back.
Right.
So as you're doing this, if that feels like that happens, you could put a pillow underneath for support, so that again the back isn't just like hanging in midair.
So this is from the back.
Front of thigh and hip, definitely target area. And if you feel like your head is kind of falling backwards on this one, again, you might need to have the head higher than the shoulders, so pillows and things.
I'm just trying to work out what I need to change there.
So I want you to get higher. Oh, is the knee okay?
No, the knee's the one that's suffering. My thighs are only hurting because you made them hurt this so I need to stretch that out.
Still your fault.
So that's okay.
So we need your hips even higher then. So
Right.
and if it goes too deep, then you can actually put things up against the wall, so your shoulders are against the wall. So, and again, that's why I said it's not everybody's favourite, and sometimes it takes a bit of fiddling with until you find that position that feels comfortable. And so, you want to have that side. Okay. So, how are we doing, Johnny? You feeling that okay?
I can feel it there, yes.
Yeah. We're about to go on fire.
Is my head hanging?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Got that way in my head.
things. Yeah. So for those, once you're into the position, if you feel that you need some help to help support the hips, you can let me know, because sometimes having something resting across your hip bones, like one of the sandbags or bolster, can help to press you down. So if you feel like your back is arching a lot, then that could be something that might feel useful. But you can decide whether it does or you can
That's actually better.
I know when I do this, like I arch,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of squashing down. You want more or less?
Yeah.
And then we can put them on the
Yeah. No, that's because that's sort of like a part of my
So you've always got options if you feel like you need extra support to press the hips down, or to press, even if you feel like your knee is lifting, if you feel that you want to have something to help encourage that down, it can help to relieve the back a little. You probably just move it here. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. And if you want to go more than that, you could also go more if that helps.
That's good.
See what I mean?
So the joy of half saddle. And half
That's remotely right, is that okay? Yeah. And my knees fine now. Trying to get out the bolster and I can't.
So with half saddle, it's a grower.
That's one word for it.
Yeah. So normally half saddle is one you definitely want to fidget in and you're thinking, when are we ever going to end? But that's the challenge that lies within. And you know it might have taken you a little while to get to this position, and now you know you'll be in the other side possibly a little bit longer. The joy. But it's a really good hip opener. And it is also that mental challenge.
I know that thing that I
So it should be, and depends where
here.
you're tight.
Yeah.
So, and possibly because we're a little bit lifted in terms of
Yeah.
that position, that's where you'll get it more at the knee bend rather than on the full hip opener.
Yeah.
But it always depends on where you are tight. So if you weren't tight in the front of the thigh or the hips, you might not feel it at all, even if you're down the whole way. But with this position, part of it is it's the mental struggle of holding if it does feel quite strong. And this is where that 5, 6 or a 7 becomes quite important. So hopefully you're able to try to, again, I don't mean control your mind, but it's taking control of the narrative that comes with it. Can you be with this pose? Can you find a way to be more settled and still? This is one of those poses when you try to get out of it. It might not feel so pleasant. So I want you to take your time, the leg that is bent, if it feels easier for you to move bolsters and roll to the other side, or to slide the leg out. But we are going to take you straight into your second side. We're not going to rebound in between on this one. Usually because it takes a bit longer for someone to get set up in this one, we go straight in. And it's whether the other side needs the same level of control with bolsters and pillows and things. So whenever
Yeah, but like I did 24,000 steps just around. Oh, so that really lifted off my legs. I'm exhausted, but the legs aren't particularly tight.
So when you're ready, you can drop in on that second side. So again, the knee is trying to stay in front of the hip. You're trying to judge whether the foot wants to be sideways or tucked under. If it feels like you're really twisting, can you adjust the position? Maybe the hips need to be higher, maybe the back needs to be higher. What are you thinking, John?
Right.
You all right?
Yep.
If it feels quite strong in the knee, then sometimes having the hips raised can be useful.
See, the only piece I'm getting here is on the knee.
So maybe on this side then, what we can do is get behind and then drop the bolsters in at a level where you feel you can have the bent.
Right, so I'm on my side.
So on your side, you can use pillows and things just for the hands. And then the
Straight.
side up.
side as much.
Yeah, I get a bit more. Yeah.
Exploring how this side feels in comparison. Knowing that over time the sensation can change. It might start in one area and it might move out. And sometimes the actual sensation can change, not just the area, but also the actual sensation. Recognizing what level that you feel your body is telling you that it has reached. Knowing that as much as we're aiming for stillness, if you need to adjust, you can. Sometimes on the poses that are the biggest physical challenge, they're the biggest mental challenge as well. Do you notice, is your body resisting or fighting it in any way? Remembering our opposites, if there's resistance, we want to find release. If it feels like it's a challenge, can we find ease within? Now, remembering to move slowly, removing any props or bolsters or whatever you've got, whether rolling onto your side to release the leg or wherever feels that you're going to find ease to bring yourself into your Shavasana. Again, whatever position feels good to go to allow the body to open, to find ease and to find comfort, to then explore sensations that unfold after. Noticing the areas, the type of sensation that you may experience, and the intensity of the experience. Maybe there's been a judgment on half saddle. Hopefully feeling the benefit. Now slowly, I'm going to draw you up in for the next pose. We're going to be taking you into banana asana. For those that know banana asana, there's a slight variation on it.
Let's just say banana aroma.
Banana, yes, you know.
Banana asana. The accompaniment of banana really. In your mouth. So we're going to be bringing you, it's into a deep side bend. So our target area for here is the side of the hips, the side of the waist, the side of the ribs, and depending on shoulders, whether the arm goes up and you might feel it into the arm as well. So it's the full side bend. So the feet are going to start over on the left side of your mat. Your hips are on the right, and then you're adjusting your upper body. But I don't want you to feel like your hips are lifted, so you might feel like you need a support on them. But once the hips are down, you can then allow the left leg to go into butterfly. Now, if you feel like the left leg is just hanging there and you want to have something underneath the knee for support, you can. To hold the right leg in place, you might feel like you want to put a bolster on it, just to keep it fixed. So you may have something on the hips, you may have something on the legs, so you don't feel like you're going to slide out of position. And then the upper body, you may have the arm up and over, so you're increasing the length of that right side of your body.
So do you want the right hip to be completely
So
flat?
I want it to be flat, because otherwise you're rolling into rotation, and I want
Right.
it to stay as like a pure side bend. So yeah, so hips are on the right, feet are over towards the left, and then your left leg is in butterfly. And then the upper body, your shoulders are moving up and over to the left, and both arms, maybe they're up. You can decide whether adding in the arms into that position feels useful. But if it feels like they're kind of just hanging in the air, then it may not be useful, but we can add something underneath the arm or something on top of the shoulder, depending on whether you need support or if you need assistance. So it's finding where we need to be. So I want your shoulders.
I'm sorry.
So if you imagine you're going to try to keep your hips as far over this way,
Right.
and your shoulders
Right.
that way, so you're creating this big curve down through here.
Right.
And the hop in there. So yeah, so if you imagine those hips, so you bring these in there, and yeah, and keep them down there. So
I
much of the side bend. So if we can,
That's where it starts.
and then
definitely
and then over, so again, side bend, rather than feeling that rotation. Do you feel like you need something on the line? Yes. Okay. Is that being helpful? That should be the difference. So why do you even shuffle into it?
I'll tell if I'm doing it right.
Now we need you to take us.
So the main thing is that
Thank you,
you
darling.
feel the side stretch.
Up the left arm, up
It
the
can
down.
be, so both arms can be. And it's basically just to try to find whatever length in the body. But the main thing with this one, because it's a side bend, if you don't feel it in the side body, there's not enough of a side bend. So it's important to try to maximize the banana.
I don't know if that fits down enough. I've got to change my view.
With this pose, feeling the side body, and when the arms are up, it does add to the side stretch. And it's deciding if you get pins and needles at any point, if it's something that you're happy to stay with, because it can happen. But if it doesn't feel comfortable, then certainly you can draw out. And just allow the arm to draw down. And at any point, again, if it feels like you soften into the position, do you need to creep the foot over a little bit more, or the shoulders, or maybe the hips are creeping back to the opposite side? To find your intentional level with this one.
Just because you have it.
Allowing the narrative in the mind to keep your mind focused. How are you feeling in this pose? So changing your energy.
What are you talking about?
Maybe you notice in your mind there's a change either in the the pace of your thoughts as they come in. Or the nature of your thoughts. Remembering that whatever thoughts come in, there's a positive, an opposite thought, with any negative that may come in, with any challenge, there's release. When we release this one, release the arms first and any props that may be resting on them, and then from there releasing maybe what's on the hips and then on the legs. This one can sometimes, especially depending on how your back is, can leave you feeling quite stiff in the back. So take your time, no sudden movements. I'll come out of this one and I feel like I've aged to about 95, I think.
What's no hope for the rest of us then?
But the hope is that when you get through that, it feels amazing. And it's just whether then that sometimes can feel quite strong. And it's whether you just leave the arm out for a little bit and when you start to be aware of it, just bring it back down.
Yeah, that's think and release. And you're
So we're into your rebound again for those couple of minutes to allow the body to reset. And again, you can choose what position that feels like is useful.
Yeah. That's not pleasant one.
No, I think I'm walking the rest of the time I get a walk. It's like, oh, okay. You do the second side, it gets just as bad, but then I stop this. It's always good to know where you're headed.
It's like the second baby, you're really just
So find that, hopefully, that comfortable space. And again, the rebound is going to throw up maybe different sensations again as you draw out. Again, maybe they subside and ease, or maybe they grow and change in where you feel them. So we're going to take you on to your second side. So we're going to have your hips over on the left side of your mat. And your legs then are going to be going over to the right side. Once you've got them over as far as you can, then if you bend that right knee to bring it into that butterfly. Now you know what's coming, it's kind of where the supports need to be. So legs over as far over to the right as you can. Once you've got the hips on one side, the feet on the other, then try to imagine you're making that big deep sea curve with the shoulders. So you're trying to allow the body to stay flat, so allow the hips and shoulders to stay down, and then the arm, if it chooses to come up and over from there. Well, if it doesn't want to go, if you feel you want to take it up there, to come on to use the support.
That's
Tender, yes. I know it's from a while.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing this one. This one tighter.
This arm's quite sort of.
Okay.
I
So
think-
in which case, then it's whether does that thing that just wants to support underneath.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Thank you.
Knowing that your two sides can be very different, remember to respect your body and what you feel. We know this one can deepen again, so find the level that it feels good for your body for now. And respond if it changes, if it grows or deepens, whether it's in the legs, the side body, the shoulder. You can always release something, remove it. Or depending whether you need to increase it and deepen the side bend. So listen to your body, listen to the narrative. Sometimes it's important to have a challenge for the body, and sometimes it's knowing when to hold back. Release the harsh and pointed inner voice. It's just a throwback to the past and holds no truth about this moment. Let go of self-judgment, the old learned ways of beating yourself up for each imagined inadequacy. Allow the dialogue within the mind to grow friendlier and to grow quiet. Shift out of inner criticism and life suddenly looks very different. I can say this only because I make the choice 100 times a day to release the voice that refuses to acknowledge the real me. What's needed here isn't more prodding toward perfection, but intimacy, seeing clearly and embracing what I see. Love, not judgment, sows the seeds of tranquility and change. How do you feel? How does your body feel? Accepting what feels good for now. Acknowledging where the challenges lie. Being grateful for how our body can move for us. Being grateful for the experience that it can be aware and experience and acknowledge the feelings that come from within. So slowly, starting from the arms, allowing them to take their time to draw down. And then maybe slowly releasing the mid-body into the legs with any supports and bolsters. Take your time if you need to bend the knees, and if you need to draw in for a super slow motion hug or wherever you need to go. And again, it's definitely one that could send you there. So taking your time, whatever your body feels like it needs to do to set up for its rebound, its Shavasana. I feel like I lulled you into a false sense of security with the first few days. Now slowly we're going to draw you up into your next pose, which is our supported fish pose. Sounds a bit different. You'll be quite familiar with this one, I'm sure. So in terms of the position, the option is to use pillows or to use the yoga blocks. And it's just to pop one in supported, so it's going to be around the lower shoulder blades. And then the other one can be your pillow for the head. And you can choose whatever height, maybe not there, you can choose whatever height you feel that your back will be able to go to. So normally, whenever we've done this one before, usually it's been in butterfly, but I'm going to get you to have your legs just long and open with it. And the arms on this are just down by your side with the elbows bent, depending what height you end up with. So it's more about the back bend. So in terms of that, so you can choose the height of the block once it's in there, and again the height of the pillow that you need, and then the legs are resting out. So as much of a lift of the chest as you feel that's enough. If it feels like the blocks are quite hard, then that's where you can use pillows washed up. If you felt like you wanted to go even higher again, but with something softer, the bolster can be used because you can choose the height of your pillow. Whatever feels like, whether you want to have a throat opener with it and the head is relaxing back, or if that isn't happy with the head space, then you can keep the head higher than the chest. So it's exploring it to see what height do you need to allow the thoracic spine to open.
So it's between your shoulder blades from your.
So around the shoulder blades, so it should feel like, yeah, it's going to open up. So if you imagine where your prominent ribs are, so just at the base of the chest bone, that's the area that you want to feel it's lifted up to the ceiling. So if it feels like it's more into the lower back, it can feel more uncomfortable because it's going to prop you, yeah, it's going to feel like all the pressure's on those small ribs. So up low. So I won't do it right here. So we just do one. And then higher with it. Try that. So I want you to be able to try to get the hips on the floor. Yeah. So yeah, you'll find the area. If that feels like it's too high, then position drop it down. Is that okay? And then yeah, the legs long and straight once you find your position. But it should feel like those prominent ribs are being opened up to the ceiling. And then those legs long and straight out. You could put that on top of the block if you want the height. So it's feeling this is a chest opener, and it may not necessarily feel like a full stretch, but it should feel like it's opening you on the front of the ribs, front of the chest. And depending on the head position, it may open you at the front of the throat.
That's not so. That's just hard, I was telling you the same size as that, but so. I think it's too much. So I think it's better with the block. It's not. Sorry. Yeah, that's okay.
Imagine that breath as it draws in that light, energetic breath. It brings openness and space inside the body. Relaxing, almost molding the body around your supports. Slowly from here, if you allow your legs to bend up, and whether it's rolling onto your side to draw off your blocks and things, rather than feeling that you're trying to press harder into them to roll up into seated. But once you find your way through, we're going to take you into your last pose. This does have two sides. Depending on how you feel, this could be another grower. So we'll see. Some people are okay with this one, some people find it a grower. So we're going to take it into deer. So it's a twist through the spine. So we've done our side bending, we've done a few other positions trying to open everything up. With this, there's two types of bolsters that you guys have. One of them is less filled than the other. So, so I would recommend using the one that's less filled. And then if you shake all of it down to one end, and then you can kind of pat it down to create a hint of a slope. Okay. You might still need to use, say, a blanket just to create like a softer edge. But we're going to go with the right hip down first of all. So it's going to creep up so that the right hip is against the end of your bolster. The right leg is out, so it's creating a right angle. And then the back leg is a bit like a right angle, so it's a bit like your 90-90 legs. And then we're going to try to get the chest down onto the bolster. The head position is optional to have it, so if my right leg is out to the side, it's on the floor. If my head is to the right, that's my left, isn't it?
Good, sure.
It's my right leg down,
Turning
but
your right
my
side.
head's turning to my left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to think about that. So if your head is looking off towards the bed leg, we'll try that one. That's softer. If you try to turn so the head is on the other side, again, it's going to put a spiral right up through your spine. So you can decide which one feels that it's appropriate. You may start with one, you may then experiment and try it as you start to settle in. So that's where you might just need like loads of squished up so that it creates a softer edge in there. So the hip is in close. The back leg is roughly knee in line with the hip, so as it's bending, but it's just wherever it settles. Wherever it settles. And then you try and get your chest onto the bolster so that you feel the rotation in through the waist, the low back. And then the more you're able to square the chest off, the more it'll start to twist up into the mid back. Your body will give you feedback in this one. So if you're trying to take the stronger twist, try it for a while. And if the neck isn't happy, you can always take it back. And if it just doesn't feel right for your body, then your rotation just isn't there. So there's no need to force it.
Can I get some vibe on the shoulder?
Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of fear. She let go of judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons, wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry. She just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all of the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her day timer. She made no public announcement. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was what it was. And it's just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. A smile, a small smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her. And the sun and the moon shone forevermore. And slowly, if the head is twisted to the opposite side, allow it just to reset back for a moment. And then slowly starting to draw yourself up. And again, this time we're not going to take a rebound in between. We're going to take you on to your second side. So repositioning so that that left hip is at your bolster. So again, the left hip is in that rough right angle. And then the back leg again roughly about the right angle behind. And then the body trying to find its way down onto the bolster. So the chest bone trying to be as level with it as it can so the back is lengthening long and straight. And then again, you can decide whether your head feels like it's more comfortable on the same side as the grounded knee, or whether it can turn to be on the other side. Again, just noticing how the body feels now that we're on the second side. Does it feel like the body needs time to lengthen through the spine, to elongate, to allow that rotation? Whether you explore for a short time or not at all, where the head position feels like if it needs a challenge or just to settle.
Tanya, can I have the phone back, please? The head is turned to a deeper side. Allow it to turn back to release the neck. And then slowly starting to draw yourself up for your final Shavasana. Again, find the position that feels how your body wants to go. If it needs a little bit of movement prior, yourself into this final comforting place. Supports where you need them. To allow the body to remain. But it's not striving, it's not endeavouring to hold itself in any position. Just to find a release. To relax. And to restore. Slowly starting to bring a sense of movement into your toes. Movement into your fingers. And then drawing your knees in towards you and Again, respecting your body if it feels like you need to draw them in for a hug, or if you prefer just to roll onto your side. And then in your own time, slowly drawing up to a comfortable seat. Am I killing the sleepover?
I was waiting for snow.
Okay, so once we draw, bring your hands onto your heart center, and it's just acknowledging your body has been challenged in a few different ways. I'm guessing. But I'm hoping that it felt like it was a good challenge, and that hopefully, yeah, you feel a little bit more calm as a result of that. Namaste.
Namaste.